Well, I made the album Here We Are because it represents for where I am right now in the scene. I started, I think, 10 years ago almost. I'm almost 10 years, fucking crazy. And when this all started, the whole music was way softer, way slower. The BPMs were way lower than it is now. And I saw this whole trip from the harder music to harder and different styles coming in. And it inspired me a lot through the years. So I thought, okay, I need to make a lot of new music. I need to make an album. And I wanted to combine all these styles, what I experienced throughout the years. I wanted it all put together in one album. So if you listen to this whole album, you will find some hardcore influence, some psy influence, some ravey, hard techno from how it was back in 2022, 2020. And it's all together now in my album, and that's why it's called Here We Are, because it's like the full circle, if you know what I mean. It was really a cool experience for me to make this whole album, because I don't need to check out for one particular style. I just can get involved with all the other styles and make it into a whole complete journey of my whole music career. So yeah, that's the whole Here We Are concept and why I choose it.
Acid and heavily distorted kick drum.
Everything right now is hard. And I see now on all the lineups with all the other DJs, everybody wants to be harder and harder and the most explosive drops and the most craziest sets. Of course, it's nice. I always want to play the hardest as well. But now I don't, if it goes harder right now, it can go to a different genre. It will be hardcore or raw style or industrial. And I still want to keep it into the hard techno. That's always my purest love. And I want to search for the boundaries in the hard techno. So, sorry, what was your question again?
No.
So, because everything is harder, I wanted to create a hard album, but not the hard that you see right now. The harder what I see in the whole journey of when I started this music. I was always the hardest on the lineups back a few years ago, but now all these other DJs, the younger generation, they can play much harder music. But I want to be hard in my own way of how to see the hard techno right now. So you have like a hard bouncy track, you have a hard industrial track, you have a hard ravey track, a hard rolling track, all on the album. So that's in my perception to see like the hardest in every genre, all stuck to one album. And it's not like the shock effect, because I can make like much harder music, but then it will be like an industrial or like a hardcore track. But I still want to keep it into the hard techno. So that's why I just don't want. Of course, I want the shock effect, but I just want to have it like the pure gen style, how I want to be known of.
I love it.
The heart in my own way. Yeah, that's really crazy. I always have the feeling I found my identity from the beginning when I started music. I'm from Rotterdam, and I grew up with the Rotterdam hardcore music. So when I was younger, I heard like the happy hardcore on the radio. And we grew up with it in the Netherlands, especially in Rotterdam. With Rotterdam Rave, it will be your craziest party, the hardest you can have. And that's where Rotterdam is known of. And when I first started to make music, the hard techno was really rolling, Dax J, Paula Temple. It was hard, but not hard lets you know it right now. And I thought, okay, let's make that kind of music, but switch it into a Rotterdam gen style. And I started doing that 10 years ago. And that's what I make this track and with all these sounds and this influence from Rotterdam. And now through the years, you see this whole genre is exploding so much that all the other guys is also using all these sounds. So I always have the feeling I found my sound when I started already, and I just try to evolve it into a modern way of how people will like it now, like the industrial stuff, but mix it with some Rotterdam influence, some more ravey stuff, but mix it with Rotterdam influence. I always thought that would be my sound, my thing. And I just want to continue doing that in which way possible. Maybe going a little bit softer, but still with the Rotterdam sound. And that's, I think, where a lot of people know me from. Like the old school tracks, switch it into a new style, and the other stuff like that. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, not so much. I play guitar, bass guitar, drum, piano, but unfortunately in my tracks you don't hear any guitar or bass guitar. It's only like the synthesizers and the hard kicks. But what I try to do, because I grew up with all this music and I know all the chords, I know all the layouts of all the tracks because I played in bands and I did the whole construction of all the music. I try to create that into the hard techno as well, with like a nice intro, outro, the bridge and everything. Some hard techno tracks, it's just a build up, big drop and boom, done. But I always try to tell like a story into the tracks I make, because that's how I grew up with it, with playing guitar as well. It's not only like a big explosion and boom, but I just want to create a story inside of a track. So unfortunately you don't hear the music I learned from when I was a young age that much, but I try to do it, but it's a little bit hard to play guitar. Yeah. Well, I wanted to make a track with a Dutch vocal. Maak me nou niet gek means don't make me crazy. Okay. And that's the thing we say in the Netherlands, oh, don't make me crazy, don't make me crazy, and then you go crazy. So I wanted to make a track with that Dutch vocal, and who else I can ask better to create such a hard track than Vieze Asbak. He's known of the screaming vocals and he fits perfect into the track. So I already made the track, it's my own vocal in the track, so I'm just shouting in my car, in my phone, and recorded all the vocals of that. And then I sent it to Asbak, and he just understands the whole vibe I wanted to create in the track. And we immediately just finished the track super easy, and now it's out already, and now it's going crazy. So yeah, I'm really happy with that part. But it's one of the hardest tracks of the album. Yeah.
One of the country's most significant youth culture movements.
It's hard. I will hope it will grow more and more, but yeah, it's been such a crazy, wild ride we had in a few years. I've been literally from clubs of 200, 300 people to fucking football stadiums in a matter of time. In like 1 or 2 years, we grew so much, and sometimes it feels like the whole scene is dying a little bit, but it's just because it's really hard to have some new things inside, because almost everything is done already in the scene. So you need to grow it more and more and create some more special things. For now, you see, I did a few weeks ago EDC Las Vegas, and we had a whole hard techno stage over there. Well, a few years ago, you couldn't even think about that. And now I'm doing Tomorrowland for the 3rd time in a year with hard techno. A few years ago, you couldn't think about that either. So I'm sure it's still growing, and I'm sure it's still becoming bigger, but it's getting harder because there are more DJs, more parties. People are liking some other genres as well. But I still have faith. If you have seen now that the whole hardcore genre is doing these massive festivals for 10, 20 years, I'm sure the hard techno will have that too for 10, 20 years. And maybe it looks like it's not growing that much. I'm sure it still grows a lot, but it's just not that new anymore. It's just become like the normal biggest music genre in the world, I hope. If I could be a DJ only in Spain, I can play every weekend everywhere in Spain, and that's only in one country. That will be...
I mean, Holland?
In Holland, in the Netherlands, it's too small.
Too small?
Yeah, if I play there 2 weeks in a row and I play in the north and in the south, people can literally drive from the north to the south and the other way around. So I think that's a little bit too small, but in Spain, yeah, I'm sure you can do that because it's so big. You can play a weekend in the north and in the south. Yeah, it's really crazy, but I think it will be bigger and bigger because you also, in Germany, you have now some new tracks of Vieze Asbak and I think Negative as well. It's in the top 40 charts of Germany, like with Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, with some hard techno in it. And that's just some of the newest tracks. And I think in a few years, if all the guys, the good producers we have still gonna produce a lot of new tracks, I think it will be in the normal dance charts, in the normal music charts. And then I think it will explode even more because then it will get known by more people. So yeah, I hope it will grow more, yes.
90s, gabber wasn't just a subgenre of hardcore techno. It was one of the country's most...
Well, sometimes you feel a little pressure of that. Me, Nico, Trim, we all doing this for like 10, 12 years now. And we see all these new DJs coming up and fucking destroying it everywhere. And sometimes you feel like a little bit forced to go with that flow because you see that's working right now. But also everybody around you just say, keep by your own sound, keep by your own style. And I think that's the most important thing you need to do as an artist. Of course, you can see some tracks of another DJ blowing up and then you want to create that too. But yeah, people are still fan of you, of your sound. So stick a little bit into that own sound you created. And of course you feel like a little bit of pressure, but I always are really like happy on my own feet that I think, okay, I will keep this sound of the same. And I don't let myself get influenced by all the other genres, which is exploding right now. So yeah, it is hard, but I think if you still believe in your own sound and in your own creation, what you want to do, the pressure will go a little bit off, and you just do your own thing, and then hopefully it will work for years. Yes.
Okay.
My message will be, come to my shows. No. My message will be, yeah. If you listen to the whole album, I think I want to show you that heart is not only what you hear right now. Heart can be in all different kinds of genres. It can be a whole story in an album, and I want to tell my journey, what I experienced in the last 10 years of touring worldwide, everywhere, experienced the most crazy shit ever. I want to tell that story inside of the music, inside of that album. And then if you listen to it, every track, you will hear all the influence of all the stuff that I've learned. And maybe you will discover a new genre you will love. Maybe you will discover new music that you like. And that's the message I want to give to the people. You can always discover more music. And yeah, it's important, I think.
Okay, and I have a personal question. If you have to say something or just one thing to the new generation of DJs of hard techno, what it is?
I would say I've labeled myself, so I have a lot of I get a lot of these questions. What you would tell to the people? I will always say never give up after you hear one no. I have 1,000 no's in the beginning because I was always too hard. But you keep on trying, and if you get that one yes, that's really important. You will get full focus on that one yes. Send all your tracks to that person, post it on social media, and I think that one yes can give you such a motivation boost that it will go to your natural, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So yeah, never give up. It's important, exactly. You will get 1,000 no's, one yes, and that one yes is the most important you will have.